So if you were asked if there's something that you can do differently or better if you're an extrovert and you're parenting an introvert, one of the reasons you may have concerns about the well-being of your introverted child is because we're socialized, like as a society, obviously, to view extroverts as the pinnacle of success. And if your kiddo isn't, you may worry that they're not going to be okay. So there's a broad spectrum of introversion and extroversion, but I wonder if the concern of the viewer lies in one, parenting a child that is very different from us, and two, the child may be so introverted they are moving more towards extreme shyness, not so much introversion exclusively, but shyness and anxiety. So I feel like it's really important to give each of our children space to be who they are, but also help them develop the skills to be happy and healthy adults. This can look like helping your child learn how they can feel good in overstimulating environments like a friend's birthday party or at school. Your child might need fidgets for soothing. They might need to take extra breaks, maybe just popping into the bathroom when they feel overwhelmed. There's also other sensory helps for kiddos to kind of feel more grounded and connected. Your student might need some time in the library to read instead of going out to recess once a day. Physical activity is super important, but there's also school is a super stimulating environment. Believe me, working in one, I often myself have to go into the bathroom and I'll turn off the lights and lock the door. There's single bathrooms for staff, and I often just go in there and just take some breathing breaks, and it's dark and it just like sucks all of that kind of overstimulation out of me, and I feel much better. You can work with your schools to develop these plans. Work with your child's teacher. You can also ask your kiddo the question, what do you need to do, think, or say so that you can feel good in this situation? So before maybe an overstimulating activity or before the day, checking in with your student to see if there's a plan that they can come up with. And then you can ask, let me know if you need my help. If your child is introverted and moving towards more extreme shyness, skill building might look like making sure your child has the skills like assertiveness to ask for help when they need it. This may also look like allowing your child to order their own food at a restaurant, or giving them a short list at the grocery store that they can walk around and get some of the items, obviously under your supervision, depending on the age of the kid. Your kiddo might need some sentence stems, meaning you're going to give them a little bit of a script in order to complete these tasks. And this is something that you can role play at home. Role playing is a really powerful tool when it comes to skill building with your kids. So you can role play. Your child can be the cashier or the server, and you can pretend to be your child. And you have a conversation, you show them how it's done, and then you flip roles, and your child can be themselves and you can be the cashier or server so that they can practice. Role playing through these situations can really ease social anxiety for your kiddos. Working through the workbook, what to do when you feel too shy, would also be really helpful. It's something that you can do with your child that'll help give you both language around what your child might be experiencing. Something that is really important to pay attention to. So oftentimes when we push our kids outside of their comfort zone, we're doing it in a way that pushes up against their natural inclination or what they feel is okay or not okay for them. When we do that, we're manipulating their intuition. We're manipulating their natural ways of boundary setting, and that is a real issue. So I talk more about that in a video on body safety and boundary setting, so check that out, because we tend to push our kids to have these social interactions that are really not okay for them, and we need to trust them and help them develop that natural intuition that they have about what feels okay or not okay to them. My encouragement is to avoid parenting out of fear or of embarrassment of how we look or how our kids look, our introverted kids or our quirky kids. If you're the opposite and you're an introvert and you're parenting an extrovert, you might experience sensory overload. and need to boundary set around that. So that might look like, for your self-care, you need to tell your introverted kiddo, mommy needs to take a break. And depending on the age of that kid, that could be 5 minutes, that could be 15 minutes. Depending on the ages, that could be supervised, or you're in your bedroom taking a break. And you say something like, mom's gonna set the timer. You practice. You have to be firm and kind with that boundary, and you teach them that they need to respect the boundaries that other people set. This definitely takes some practice, but the effort invested in teaching skills like this, especially boundary setting, pay off massively in the end.